Hi, I'm Lisa Bradshaw. Thanks for joining the show today. I'm here with one of my favorite guests. She's been on the show before, and many of you know her as the former executive director of Wellness Place. She has a new role in our community, and I'm excited to share it with you. I actually called her up a few months ago for advice and asked her to come to lunch with me so I could figure out how to help my parents age gracefully and safely. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. So you have been on the show a couple of times, never in this capacity. So you were at Wellness Place for quite a long time. That was your role in our community.
A wonderful role to have with such a great board of directors and a coworker that I just miss every day. It was a great joy and pleasure to be director of Wellness Place.
How long were you there?
6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
So that was a big change.
Yes, and also I've always worked in the nonprofit sector, so I'm a fish out of water right now.
When we had lunch a couple of months ago, we can get into that a little bit later, when my mom had a fall. And I remember us talking about it, and you were saying how you're used to having like this get up and go into the office every day kind of idea. You had a lot of flexibility for your family life as well, but now you're independently carving this out for yourself.
And never been busier.
Right?
Although my dog is at my feet and wanting me to walk him, I work mostly from home, but I definitely am out in the community, sometimes at the Senior Activity Center. Today I was at Springwater Insurance, so it just varies from day to day. My phone is always ringing, though.
That's good. So let's let the viewers know exactly what transition you went from Wellness Place into. Let's first talk about Sail. And many people know about Sail, but for the people who don't, let's explain to them what that is.
Sure. Well, yes, a lot of people know about the Sail program. So Wellness Place encompassed cancer support services as well, when I was there, as well as healthy aging programs. And so we did the best we could with a troop of volunteers, and we made it work. Healthy aging is no longer part of the umbrella or services at Wellness Place. So I stood up and said, I would be happy to take that on. So my business is called Healthy Aging. And under the Healthy Aging things that I do is the SAIL program. And that stands for Stay Active and Independent for Life. It is an evidence-based fall prevention program that was started at Department of Health. And it's been in our valley for about 12 years now. And it's been well known. A lot of people are aware of it. It's geared towards, exercise and fitness, balance, strength, training, flexibility, and also education. And it's led by volunteer instructors. So many of people are very familiar with it, but every day I get phone calls of people wanting to do it. So I have a wait list.
To teach for them to be able to participate in the class.
They are free classes, and they are led by really passionate instructors who care a lot in a small group setting, usually in churches or other community-based organizations. So I can see the appeal. It's socialization. It's an hour-long, group fitness class, usually 2 days a week, if not 3. Why not? I would want to do that too. In fact, I do that.
Well, I gave you a call a couple of months ago. My mom had a fall, and part of SAIL is about fall prevention.
Right.
And so my first thought was to call you and just get some advice, because I was under the impression that fall prevention was partly about how to make a fall less impactful, maybe how to catch yourself if you're falling, or just try to reduce the damage that can happen to a person's body when they fall, especially when they're getting older.
Right.
But after our talk, I realized that my mom was at my brother's and grabbed his slippers to run out to the car to get the stuff for the kids for Halloween, and his slippers were too big, and she slipped down the stairs and then landed on her ribs on the stairs and then hit her head. Oh. Gets up, goes inside, still goes to the car to get the Halloween stuff for her grandkids.
Anyone see me?
Yeah, and then of course then she had to go to the ER once they realized the magnitude of her fall.
Right.
And what you explained to me that was so valuable, and what I've explained to my mom and my dad, is that it's that you never would have put those slippers on.
Right.
Because you would have known that was a fall risk.
Footwear is huge. Footwear is really huge. And slippers, people often put their feet in that, and usually without the backs on them. And those are just such a fall risk right there. as are wearing socks in the house, perhaps on hardwood surfaces. There's so many risk factors aside from just not exercising or moving. It's vision, it's hearing, it's your home environment.
Knowing your surroundings.
Knowing your surroundings. Also, I remember, when your mom fell, she probably jumped up pretty quickly.
Yes.
Rather than, okay, stop, assess the situation.
Am I hurt?
Am I hurt?
Do I need help?
Right, all of those things. So, she could have maybe furthered some damage by jumping up and
trying to make it look like it didn't happen.
Right, there are so many factors with fall prevention, not just the movement part, which is what usually people think of. Well, I'm not moving enough, I don't get enough exercise. It's checking your home environment, it's seeing your doctor annually and being truthful with your doctor or medical provider about, did you have a fall? I mean, it's not often talked about. Sometimes people don't divulge that information, which is not helpful. Also getting your vision checked yearly and your hearing checked.
To know, those are parts of the things that you use to assess your environment.
Absolutely. Footwear is another. Visit your podiatrist. Is this the right type of footwear for me? I no longer wear many high heels just because it's not practical to my everyday living. I'm more practical now, and I'm, my body's thanking me. Plus, my back hurts a little bit more.
If you don't.
I do wear high heels, but it's occasional, and my, proper footwear is really big.
There's certain footwear my mother-in-law just won't wear, period, because she falls a lot and she has some osteo issues. So if she falls, she broke her femur once, so it's a thing to really pay attention to. And I think sometimes there's so many things that go into aging that you give up along the way, from talking with my mom and her friends and other people who are quite older than my mom, that you don't want to give up some of those things. You don't want to give up the cute shoes.
No.
You don't want to give up some of those things that you've always had. And so I think just like anything in our lives, there's this period of acceptance where you have to know your limits or know
we were
how
just
to look out for
talking
yourself.
about that this morning in our Aging Mastery program, but we were talking about bedspreads. And in a certain generation, maybe bedspreads were more prevalent. The ones that kind of hang lower and maybe have a little excess at the base. And now comforters are usually more used. But, bedspreads are a fall risk. A woman shared that her mother had tripped on the edge of it and actually, and really sadly, died from a head injury.
From the fall.
Yeah. Falls are preventable. We just have to be more mindful of our surroundings. Also talking to family members or trusted people in your lives to talk about, I'm feeling dizzy from maybe a medication I'm taking. Having a medication review is really big. Plenty of pharmacists in town, doctors, aging consultants in town will look at your medication list. There's plenty of programs on the computer that can help with that too, to cross-reference what you're taking, see if it interacts with other things in your life. So there are so many resources out there that we must talk about and make it a part of your everyday conversation.
Well, you have a wealth of information today. So let's take a break. So we've covered SAIL. We still have a few more topics to cover. And your new business is called Healthy Aging.
Yes, it is.
And people can reach you by phone. We're going to put your number up on the screen.
Great.
And we're talking with Erin Cass. We'll be back in just a moment to talk about a matter of balance. Hi, we're back. I'm Lisa Bradshaw. We're talking with Erin Cass today. She has a business called Healthy Aging. She was the executive director for Wellness Place for 6 years and was involved with SAIL when it was as part of that, under that umbrella of Healthy Aging. And now she is basically, you're the go-to person for fall prevention and everything to do with aging healthily.
I work with others.
Right. But you're hoping to lead the way and be part of that effort.
I think that we need to talk more about how to age well. I think we're all taught how to ride a bike. We're all taught how to do certain things in our lives, but we need to learn and be together, and be vulnerable about the things that inflict our lives. Are we not getting out enough because we're afraid of falling? Are we limiting our social interactions with people that you really care about? Are you worried about being ridiculed in an exercise class if it's too big for you? It's all of those things. We just need to work on cognitive restructuring, changing those no, I can't do that into yes, I can.
And figure out how each individual
right.
person can.
Right, and in their own way. It doesn't have to be these great sweeping things. It could be you're getting your eyes checked, or you're changing your footwear, or you're even attending a sail class once or twice a week. Those are big things.
We talked about sail in the first segment, and now we want to transition over to a matter of balance. It's a whole other program. Tell me about, or tell us all about the program itself.
Sure. A Matter of Balance, it was designed by a great group of people through Stanford University. It was derived from Maine Health, which is kind of like Department of Health. And Lynette Geringer and I went back to a training a few years ago and became master trainers in this program. A Matter of Balance is, again, another evidence-based program, but I liken it to those who are maybe afraid to kind of jump into a sail class, which again is more of the fitness focus. A Matter of Balance is great because it introduces exercise and movement, but in a real gradual way. It's a small group, peer group intervention type of program. There are 8 sessions total. You have 12 people, no more than 12 people in this class with 2 master trainers.
So it's like a course, there's a beginning, middle, and end?
Yes, there's an end, or a start and finish, which sail is ongoing, it never ends. But Lynette and I help lead healthy discussions, it's curriculum-based, through, again, cognitive restructuring or home safety tips. Maybe it's talking about, your fears, and other people pipe in and say, yes, I actually fell a few weeks ago. I was in my shower and my hands were soapy, and I do have a grab bar in my shower, but my hands were slippery, were soapy, and I slipped. And other people are like, well, yeah, that happened to me too. So I see a lot of strengthened bonds in this class. I see a real tight-knit conclusion to this, and what I've found is that people are becoming friends, and they call each other and maybe go to the doctor together, or maybe they start that sail class. It's pretty cool. I really like it, and it is an evidence-based program. It's been going on through many different communities in our nation. I'm glad that we have it here now. So I'm working with a contract with Department of Health to make it more prevalent. We've had 2 Matter of Balance sessions already at this Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. We're really grateful to have a partnership with them. They've opened up their space, and it's filled up both times with a wait list.
So the both times meaning from the beginning, start to finish?
Yes, you have to pre-register, and what we're finding is that it fills up in like 2 days, and then we have a wait list. And so it's going to continue. I'm going to make sure it does. So it's just too important. And people are clearly wanting this information.
Well, I think that being able to sit amongst your peers, we all have different things in our lives. You might have a support group that's for cancer patients, or a support group that's for grief, or any of those things. I think sometimes too, like we were talking about earlier, the socialization. I remember going through chemo and joining a support group every Tuesday evening, I believe it was. And it was just nice to have somewhere I needed to be.
Sure.
And in talking with some of my mom and some of her friends, that they like some of these classes because it's somewhere, people know your name, and you come in, and there's this camaraderie almost.
Great equalizer.
Having the same concerns and fears, and at different pacing, right? Let me ask you this, when is a good time for someone to start thinking? Everyone ages differently, so you can't really say, well, as soon as you turn 60, you better start thinking about falling. When do you start thinking about these types of classes based on your home environment, or some things that you see are changing in your life and in your physical health?
Oh, I think that's a great question. I was speaking to Carrie Walker, who owns Prime Point Consulting. She's kind of an aging consultant, helps many people. She was telling me that she and her husband, they build homes quite often, and every single time they equip their bathrooms. I mean, they're in their 40s. They equip their bathrooms to be ADA accessible, to make sure they have, showers with, the shower heads that are removable with lots of grab bars. I think we all need to be thinking of that for ourselves.
I was thinking the grab bars should have rubber on them.
Yes, you can buy those little sticky
strips. Is that
strips.
what you do? It's kind of like what you put on the shower floor.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, they're not expensive.
Right.
There are better grab bars out there.
Right.
I don't recommend the suction cup ones. Don't use
Right,
those.
right. That would be an obvious, right? But
Yeah.
maybe not.
No,
you
not
think you're
obvious.
getting a bargain,
Right,
and
right.
it should work.
Mm-hmm.
So then, but making those things accessible,
Right,
because we
right.
are going to age. I think
Yes.
about that in the house that
Yes.
I own. My
Mhm.
master is upstairs, and hopefully I have great knees that get
Yeah.
me up and down the stairs till my
Right.
end of life. But if not, I'm gonna have to make a move.
Well, I think you're just hitting a very important topic in that our whole community, Wenatchee Valley, should be thinking about how to prepare for this generation. These people say sometimes a silver tsunami. I mean, Forbes is naming Wenatchee as one of the most desirable places to retire. Well, in 20
I know,
years.
I try not to tell people that. When I'm like on tour in other places in the country, I'm like, oh, it's just this little place. You wouldn't like it at all. They don't all move here.
Right, but
yeah.
we need to keep having those conversations about senior living opportunities and keeping it affordable, having a variety of options for people, to have fall prevention programs interwoven into everything else that's going on here. I'm going to advocate for the YMCA right now because they have so many senior fitness classes there that are wonderful. They have Gentle for Joints. They have a class that I teach. It's called Be Fit. And it's, I'd say, a little bit more difficult than SAIL. There's more cardio components. There's restorative yoga. There are so many classes at the YMCA that I didn't know about until I started working there.
Well, and that's the other thing, too. I work a lot in patient advocacy, and I can say that people don't think about patient advocacy until they need it.
Right.
And then
right.
they're kind of in crisis,
Right.
perhaps. And so it's kind of that same thing is don't wait until you've had a fall, or don't
Right.
wait until you're to the point where you're that afraid, but get the education. Start to find out, maybe take the classes that are a little more advanced,
Right.
so that you're comfortable as you transition into the classes that
That's what I'm doing.
right?
I'm sore.
Yeah, right. At
Yeah.
any point. I mean,
Right.
even if you're a healthy, fit person in their
Right.
40s or 50s, you have to start where you are.
I cannot stress that enough, and I think the more we talk about it, the better. And the more our community sets up the people who love living here with success, and we're going to talk about it. And yes, working on the trails and maintaining, that's all very important. But do we have programs in place to help people stay in their homes longer, to age well, age in place, and to live the best years ever, till our last breath?
That's good advice. Let's take a break, but first let's talk about March 10th. You have a SAIL instructor training. You said there's a wait list for the SAIL class.
Yes, for participants.
So this is
yeah.
for instructors to be able to help teach the class. It's volunteer basis, correct? March 10th, tell us when and where.
Okay.
What time and where?
Well, it's volunteer basis, but the fact that you're held accountable for showing up, you're getting your workout in too. You're helping others. It's a great win-win situation. So to become a certified SAIL instructor, we'd invite you to show up at St. Joseph's Church on March 10th. We'd prefer you to pre-register. There is a $75 fee to become an instructor. However, RSVP, Retired and Senior Volunteer Program, they're helping pay those fees if you're willing to be to be under their program. It's not a lot, it's reporting hours perhaps, but it's just a real nice symbiotic relationship we have with RSVP. So you often teach with another instructor, you're not alone. I help find the site location for you. I help, obviously we have people waiting in line to join. We provide equipment for you, weights. It's just a really turnkey operation, and you're helping others while you're doing it. So
That's March 10th. What time?
9 o'clock to 4 o'clock. We provide lunch.
Oh, nice. You get lunch too. And how do they pre-register, since that's the preference?
You can visit sailfitness.org, and if you click under the instructors link down at the bottom, you'll have some more information.
Good. That's March 10th. And if you have any other questions, tell us your phone number. We're putting it up on the screen.
Sure. 509-393-9113.
9113. That's smart. Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we have more to talk about Aging Mastery Program. We'll be talking about that as well with Erin Cass. If you have questions about any of the things we've been talking about, Erin is just one of the most personable, kind people I know, and she'll be happy to chat with you, so give her a call. We'll be back in just a moment. The time goes by so fast on the show, doesn't it?
Yes.
I'm talking with Erin Cass, and we are talking about things that all have to do with healthy aging, which is the business she's in now. And we've talked about SAIL classes.
Yes.
You can register to be an instructor on the program is being taught March 10th. You can get more information by contacting Erin or going to the website that's on your screen. Also, we talked about A Matter of Balance, and now let's talk about Aging Mastery Program. What is that?
Well, it's a evidence-based program. There we are again.
Well, that's good.
Through National Council on Aging. That's a really reputable national entity that many people know of. The Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center received a grant, a federal grant, to bring this program to our valley. So when I was presented with an opportunity to become an instructor or trainer, I said, yeah, please. So I love everything about this program. So Aging Mastery Program basically are 10 different courses. And again, it filled up really quickly. It's free thanks to this grant and the Senior Center. The courses include topics led by expert speakers in our community. So it's not me leading each of them. It's bringing in people like Roger Barnhart, who's a pharmacist at Costco, to talk about medication management. We have talked about sleep, the importance of sleep, healthy relationships. Today we talked about fall prevention, and Carrie Walker was there. We talk about, exercise in you. We have talked about navigating longer lives, which Dr. Malcolm Butler came and spoke. Had a great presentation. People were asking questions upon questions. And we are having Jenny Heinitz next Tuesday talking about advanced planning. We're wrapping up with healthy relationships. How often do we really talk about healthy relationships in your lives as we age? And so we're really grateful to have these people. And financial fitness, we talked about that as well. Mm-hmm. So each session brings a whole wealth of information that maybe we've already known, but we've forgotten about. Again, it's about 20 people in the class. You build a system of relationships. It's a safe environment. You ask any question that you feel comfortable sharing. There's a course outline, a course curriculum. Each person has their own little toolkit for success. And really, it's just small ways to make your life more enhanced, right? To live better. So this program is just pretty remarkable. This is our first, time doing it. I know we're going to offer more. So hopefully I'll be able to get this information out to everybody.
The thing about aging, I guess, and thinking about planning for aging, nobody taught us how to be parents, only by the example of our parents.
Right.
The parenting we saw, or our peers, or our neighbors, or people who were in our lives. And I think about that now and how fortunately, there are programs in place to teach you how to age well. Just like there are parenting classes, but you're in this whole other part of your life that you've never done before.
Right.
You only get to do it once, and you hope to do it right, just like parenting.
Yes.
So I encourage people who are watching to reach out to Erin and get the information about these programs. And if you have it on your heart to become an instructor, be part of the solution for the aging community, March 10th is your first opportunity to become a SAIL instructor. You can get information by contacting Erin or going to the website on your screen. And all of this information, it's so valuable. I think that, good on you for choosing it. I know you have a passion for it.
I do.
And we have to be passionate about the work we do.
We do.
And are you so grateful for what you're doing?
I loved every ounce of my time at Wellness Place, trust me. But I knew it was time for me to maybe move along and let some new energy, which has certainly sprouted there, and give some time and support to the cancer community, which is so needed, right? So I'm grateful to have this opportunity to continue on working with the healthy aging programs, and I don't want to stop. I want to keep doing this until, my last day. So I think the more we talk about this as a community and have programs that are free or low cost, it's a win-win situation.
So Erin Cass, Healthy Aging is the name of your business, and you can reach out to her at the phone number provided or the website for information about SAIL instructor training. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you, Lisa.